Why doesn't society help inmates after they're released? Welcome back to the other side of the cell. Today we're diving into a topic that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but it's a conversation we seriously need to have. If society says it wants safer communities, lower crime rates, and fewer people going back to prison, then why do we make life so difficult for people once they're released from prison or jail? Think about this for a second. Every year, thousands of men and women walk out of correctional facilities hoping for a second chance. Some truly want to rebuild their lives, reconnect with family, find work, stay sober, and become productive citizens. But the moment they step outside those prison gates, many quickly realize they're carrying a label that follows them everywhere. Felon, ex-con, former inmate, and for many people, that label closes doors before they even get the opportunity to prove they've changed. So the question becomes, if rehabilitation is supposedly part of the justice system, why doesn't society provide stronger support systems for people returning home? Let's talk about it. A person gets released from prison. What happens next? Many leave with little money, limited resources, no stable housing, and sometimes no family support. They apply for jobs but get rejected because of their criminal record. Some landlords refuse to rent to them. Educational opportunities can be limited. Mental health treatment and addiction counseling are often difficult to access consistently. And even when someone genuinely wants to change, they may return to the same neighborhoods, same poverty, same violence, and same survival environments that contributed to their incarceration in the first place. Then society turns around and says, why do so many people go back to prison? But maybe the better question is, are we truly creating conditions that make successful reentry possible? Now, to be fair, some people believe inmates already receive too much sympathy. They argue that actions have consequences and that people who commit crimes made their own choices. Some taxpayers feel their responsibility ends once the sentence is served, and that perspective exists for a reason. Crime hurts people. Victims suffer, families are destroyed, communities lose trust, accountability matters. But here's where the conversation gets deeper. If someone has already served their sentence, what exactly do we want afterward? Do we want revenge forever, or do we want rehabilitation and public safety? Because those are two very different goals. Studies and real-life experience often show that people who have stable housing, employment opportunities, counseling, mentorship, education, and family support are far less likely to reoffend. In other words, helping former inmates successfully re-enter society doesn't just help them, it can help entire communities become safer. Yet many people coming home feel like they are punished long after their official sentence ends. Imagine trying to restart your life while carrying years of stigma. Imagine applying for jobs and being rejected repeatedly because of your past. Imagine trying to reconnect with your children after losing years with them. Imagine struggling with trauma from prison itself, while society expects you to instantly adjust back into normal life with little support. That transition isn't easy, and one thing people don't talk about enough is how prison can psychologically change a person. Inside prison, survival often requires emotional walls, distrust, hypervigilance, and adapting to a harsh environment. Those coping mechanisms may help someone survive incarceration, but they can make life on the outside extremely difficult. So when people fail after release, is it always because they're unwilling to change? Or is it sometimes because society creates barriers that make successful change harder than people realize? Now, this doesn't mean every former inmate becomes a good person. Some do return to crime, some reject opportunities, some continue hurting others. But should we judge every formerly incarcerated person by the worst examples? There are countless people who come home from prison and completely transform their lives. Some become business owners, counselors, mentors, parents, advocates, ministers, community leaders, and examples of redemption. But many of those success stories happen because someone gave them an opportunity instead of permanently defining them by their worst mistake. And maybe that's the heart of this entire conversation. Can people truly change? And if they can, does society actually believe in second chances? Because it's easy to say people should do better. It's much harder to create systems, opportunities, and communities that actually support rehabilitation in a meaningful way. At the end of the day, this issue affects all of us. Public safety affects all of us. Broken families affect all of us. Repeat incarceration affects all of us. So maybe the real question isn't whether former inmates deserve help. Maybe the real question is, what kind of society do we become when we refuse to believe people can grow beyond their past? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think society does enough to help people after prison? Or do you believe people are fully responsible for rebuilding their own lives once they're released? Let's talk about it.